Hello, this is a special video for you if you're in year 11 or year 13. We just wanted to record something for you because we recognise that this is truly exceptional circumstances for you, something that we haven't experienced, we haven't been through, and knowing that it must be a really difficult time, we just wanted to record something to encourage you and also give you a few ideas and hopefully answer a few of your questions. I'm guessing that maybe at the start when you found out about this you were quite excited, maybe you celebrated a little bit, like yes, I don't have to do my exams anymore, but I'm guessing that you may now feel a little bit more deflated or a bit uncertain. So I'm going to just answer 4 questions kind of quickly that you might have, and hopefully just give you a few pointers about what you can be doing now as well. So the first question I'm going to talk about is, did I waste 2 years of my life? I'm going to talk about how will my grades be calculated. The third question is, what should I be doing now? And the fourth question is, what if I have no idea what I'm doing? What if all my plans have been thrown off? Like, what next? So question 1, did I waste 2 years of my life? I promise you that the point of learning is not to pass an exam. Okay, the point of learning is to expand our knowledge, like to know more stuff, and also to help us get better at the process of learning. So you might think, well, I'm never going to use the stuff I learned in my GCSEs again. Like, I'm never going to use Pythagoras theorem again. And that might be true, but the process of learning something helps us get better at learning when we need to learn again in the future. And whatever you go on to do, there'll be some stuff that you need to know. So that process will be really useful going forward. So I promise you haven't wasted 2 years of your life going through GCSEs or A-levels. Even if you didn't get to sit that final paper, it's those 2 years in the background that are the most important part, not the exam itself. So secondly, how will my grades be calculated? Now, I'm not gonna give you a detailed analysis of how this happens, but what I will just say is that there won't be any big surprises. And we say this to our students normally when they sit exams as well. Like, the level that you've been working at, if you've been consistent, then that's around where we'd expect you to be. And of course, you know, some students might go up a little bit and some students might have been a bit up and down, and then it's a little bit trickier. But mostly, you know, your teachers at home right now will be looking back at your assessments and your work that you've done up to now and figuring out the grade that fits for you. So please don't panic about that. There shouldn't be any big surprises. What I would say is, if you feel like you might be in the position where you don't reach a grade that you need going forward, then don't give up on that subject. Try to keep studying, even if it's just a few hours a week. Because when you do come to resit, if you've just kept going and kept on studying the whole time, then when you come to resit, you'll be in a much better position. And it looks like there might be the opportunity for you to resit them early in the autumn term. So if you've kept going, you'll be in such a better position than if you just have to start again from scratch later on in the year. So try to do that. If you think that you might be on the edge, then that would be a good thing to do. So question 3, what should I be doing now? Maybe your parents are working at home and your siblings are homeschooling and you're just like not really sure what to do. So here's a few ideas for you. First of all, I would really recommend going and finding out about what it is that you're doing next. So whether you're going to college to do A-levels or a vocational course like a BTEC or a T-level or an apprenticeship, or if you're off to do a gap year, off to go to work, maybe you're off to uni, any of those things this applies to. Go and find out a bit more about what it is that you'll be doing. So, you know, go and look up which exam board is the A-level course and what's on it, what subjects are in the degree that I'm going to be doing particularly. Go find out about the workplace, find out about the organisation that you're going to do a gap year with, any of those. Go and do some research. And then what I would recommend doing is don't get overexcited by all the new things, because the new things will be exciting. But don't try to learn new things from scratch now. That will be quite difficult. I'll just give you an example. In geography A-level, you do a topic called global governance, which is really interesting. but it would be really hard to go like learn that from a dodgy YouTube video. It would be way better to look back at what you've already done in your courses already and see which bits of that are relevant and try to study and focus on those. So in geography you might think, oh, coasts is on the A level and I've done that already, so I can go revise that and prepare that. So that is what I would recommend. So find out about the thing that you're going to do and then look back, what do I have already that's relevant experience, or what skills do I have that I might need to get better at doing, and then kind of work on some of that. The other thing that I would really recommend is reading. So especially if you're going to uni, but college and sixth form as well, the expectation on you to read stuff will be higher than it is now. As well, maybe at school you were made to read at a certain time of the day. I know at my school we did 20 minutes of reading a day, and maybe now that's stopped. You possibly aren't reading so much, or you're reading the kind of books that you love, but maybe not like a broad amount of reading. So any reading is good for you, I guess. So you could go like read some classics or something like that, but also you can read some relevant non-fiction. So I know like in geography, you know, I've been reading a book about gender imbalance, which has been really helpful for me thinking about some of the topics that I do around development. I've been reading a book about like travel journeys of different women that have been off adventuring around the world. That's also going to be really helpful for me teaching ecosystems. So there's loads of good non-fiction books out there which are interesting and accessible, that would just help you kind of broaden your subject knowledge as well. If you have no idea where to start, then feel free to ask someone. You can ask me if you want. I might not know, but I know lots of teachers, so I can go ask someone else. But yeah, definitely I would really encourage you to read. Like, if we don't read regularly, then our ability to read gets worse, and you don't want that when at some point in the future you're going to be needing to read more. So I would really recommend that as an easy way to kind of prepare for next year. And the fourth question is, for those of you that have been listening to me and thinking, cool Jo, but I have no idea what I'm going to do next year. My plans are all screwed up now. Everything I had planned has been cancelled, and now I just don't know what I'm doing. And I'd just like to say and acknowledge that that is a really tough place to be, and I'm really sorry if that's you, whether that's on a big scale or a small scale. If you've had stuff cancelled that you were excited about, that is really tough. And I would just recommend, first of all, like, get some advice, talk to someone, and maybe you've like talked to your parents to death about this and they don't really know the answer. Then, you know, find someone else that you trust that you can talk to. And again, if you don't know where to go, then you can ask one of us and we can direct you to someone that might be helpful, because it is a hard place to be and you need to be able to talk that through with someone. The other couple of things that you could do if you really don't know what you're doing, or if your plans have been completely thrown off, firstly is just spend some time figuring out what you like and what you're interested in. So very often I talk to young people at school and I'm like, what do you want to do after school? And they're like, I don't know. And I say, okay, what are you interested in? And they're like, nothing really. Now is the time to work out what the things are that you are interested in. What are you passionate about? What gets you excited? What do you love to do? When do you feel most alive? And I realise, like, you might not be able to do all of those things whilst in lockdown, but it's really good you've got loads of time, so you can reflect on what do you enjoy. And that might help you figure out your next steps. And thirdly, I would say just like learn some life skills. If you don't know what you're doing, then you might as well use the time well for something. So just learn to do some things that will be useful. Learn to cook, or learn to sew, or whatever it is that appeals to you that you are able to do in the space of your home. Again, part of the reason that not knowing what you're doing next will feel so hard is a lack of purpose. So if you can give yourself some things to do that are more purposeful, that are helping your family, or are producing something, making something, then that can actually help you feel a little bit better as well. So hopefully that was helpful, those 4 quick questions. I promise you didn't waste 2 years of your life. There won't be any surprises when it comes to how your grades are calculated. You can get ready for next year by looking back on what you've done before. And if you really have no idea what you're doing and you feel like everything's a bit up in the air for you, then we love you, we care about you, we're praying for you. Find someone to talk to help you figure out what's going to be next. If you have any questions, like specific things that you want to know, or just a bit of advice that you need, then feel free to comment. or get in touch. Love to help you out. Thanks.